Let's start by giving all praises to the Most High, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh, in the name of his only begotten Son, whose true name in Hebrew is Yahweh Shai, and the Holy Spirit, which is the Rakakwadash. Double honors to the elders and apostles, and the Holy Spirit, who taught us his truth. Honors to the brethren that's laboring, doing the work to push the gospel, risking their life and freedom to do so. Peace and blessings to the hopeful elect, which would be 1/3 of us Israelites, according to the scriptures, who will be the Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, and Seminole Indians, who will be seeking their salvation by returning back to the Most High, by hearing and believing on his word, so that he will have mercy on us in judgment. We back with another lesson through the power and spirit of Yahweh Bahashim Yahweh Shah. I think I'm going to title this lesson Pestilence, Famine, and Sorceries. Again, Pestilence, Famine, and Sorceries. Got a string of video clips we're going to watch, grab some scriptures, and talk about it. So we're going to get into this first video.
In the shimmering blue waters of the Florida Keys, along the jewel of Florida's southern coast, a mystery lurks beneath the surface. Fish with the spins, flipping and spinning without stop.
In my lifetime of dives, I've never seen any behavior like this from fish at all.
Diver Greg Furstenworth first observed it last year and soon learned the fish, including the small-toothed sawfish, which can grow up to 16 feet, were dying. Scientists are struggling to understand why.
It's unprecedented. They do not spin like this. They do not behave like this. This is not normal behavior at all.
That highly unusual behavior has been seen in more than 40 species, according to Florida Fish and Wildlife. Necropsies on dead fish have revealed no sign of a pathogen or bacterial infection. State officials say oxygen levels, water salinity, pH, and temperature are not believed to be the cause, bewildering researchers.
It's a mystery. There's so many different possibilities that it's really difficult to isolate which one it could be.
28 sawfish have been found dead, but the actual number believed to be even higher, a blow to this critically endangered species that was early in its road to recovery.
So to see these animals dying could be a major setback. We want to get to the bottom of it and figure out a way to come back from this.
Fisheries in the Florida Keys remain open, though state officials say swimming where dead fish are observed isn't recommended. Why do we need to protect the ecosystem and the fish that live here?
It's very special. Future generations need to be able to appreciate it the same way I did.
Marissa Parra, NBC News, the Florida Keys.
Thanks for watching. Stay updated about breaking.
All right, we saw that first clip. A bunch of fishes are dying, swimming, spinning to death pretty much over here in America, down in Florida. Now, they say that the pH levels in the water, the temperature, the salinity, that's the salt level, and the temperature and the oxygen levels are okay. Well, if that stuff is okay, ain't something that's still causing itself to die. Rather, it's toxic chemical spills, gas and oil, or maybe it's nuclear waste in the water, or maybe it's those genetically modified mosquitoes Bill Gates released in Florida a couple years back. Maybe the fish got sick eating the mosquitoes. Or maybe it's something else going on in the water. Maybe it's CERN. CERN, CERN. It's something. But no matter what the cause is, the effect is that the fishes, the creatures in the sea are dying. Now, that's no different than what the Lord did back in Egypt. When you come to the book of let's hit Revelation 8 and 8 real quick. And the second angel sounded, as it were a great mountain burning with fire was cast into the sea, and the third part of the sea became blood, and the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, and the third part of the ships were destroyed. Now, I believe technically this is going into the nuclear destruction that will kill the third part of man, the wicked, Being Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. I believe this is a metaphor for that. If it's not, somebody correct me. But even when you read this literal, in the third part of the creatures which were in the sea and had life died, hey, this is literally happening. You know, that the literal creatures in the sea and the waters are dying. And that's the same thing that the Lord did to Egypt in the book of Exodus. And that's why when we hit this in the book of Psalms 105, verse 29, it reads, He turned their waters into blood and slew their fish. So yeah, the water was made poisonous. You know, it was uninhabitable for the fish. So they all died. And whatever is going on, whatever the cause is, our waters today are uninhabitable for the fish. Therefore, they are dying. So same thing is happening all over again. And then when you continue to read, you know, in the book of Exodus, when the Lord turned the waters to blood and the fish died, it tell you that the water was stank, and it tell you that they couldn't drink the water. Why? Because the water was already poisonous, you know, for the fish to die off in the first place. And then the fish died, that made the water that much more contaminated. But that's the case with our water today, which is way worse than whatever happened to the water in ancient Egypt. Because what? Esau, Edom is spilling ammonium, acid, nuclear waste, fertilizer, pesticides, gas, oil, petroleum, plastics, rubbers, foam, trash, all kind of stuff, toxic sludge, sewer, wastewater, all of that stuff is going in the waters. You know, so what? It's killing the fish. Not to mention, now you got all these dead, rotten, decomposing fish carcasses in the water. Not to mention, Esau Edom then ate up the natural filtration system of the waters, ate up all the crawfish, all the crabs and lobsters, all the shrimp, ate up everything that kept the water clean. So Esau done dumped all this stuff in the water. Now you got stuff dying in the water, nothing to clean that up. So the waters is more unsafe than they've ever been. You drink the water, you gonna die. You eat the fishes that's in the water, you gonna die. You try to water your garden with that contaminated water that the fishes are dying in, you gonna die. So yeah, and you know, no matter the cause, we know what the effect is. But what's the bigger effects of that? What's the bigger effects of all the fishes dying? A famine. You know, the store is going empty. And then when the storehouses are empty, you're not going to be able to just go to your local pond or a river or your creek in the back and go get some fish. They all going to be dead. The water's all effed up. And what's the bigger picture or the bigger idea behind creating this famine? The MOTB, the mark of the beast. Esau trying to corner you off to force you into getting his mark. So yeah, rather it's Esau that done killed the fish, or it's the Most High, you know, caused them to die. It's the Most High overall, but whatever it is, everything is polluted, everything is dying, leading to a famine, to enforce that MOTB. Now we're going to get into the next clip. So yeah, some kind of pestilence is killing the fish, just like ancient Egypt. Lord doing it all over again. So let's get into this next clip. And this is from the brother Zadok, Aram, House of David, edifying brother, great lessons. Shalom to that brother. Subscribe and tune in to him.
This is a message to parents, and I don't know what parents are feeding children milk nowadays, but the avian bird flu is back.
The avian bird flu is back. That's the title of the lesson. Pestilence, famine, and sorceries.
Texas, Oklahoma, Ohio, Kansas, you guys are experiencing the epidemic right now. And the fact of the matter is, this time, it's not just birds going through it. All kinds of animals are experiencing this bird flu. Check this out, y'all.
The flu is back, but it's showing up in different animals, from goats on a western Minnesota farm to dairy cows in several other states. Kaya Edwards joins us now with what this means for farmers and consumers. Kaya? Julie, we talked to the Minnesota Board of Animal Health, which joins agencies nationwide in following these bird flu livestock cases closely, as they're believed to be the first in the U.S. U.S. health officials say raw, unpasteurized milk from dairy cattle in at least 3 states tested positive for avian flu, a virus usually found in birds, not livestock. Veterinarians are on really high alert. Dr. Katie Cornell is a senior veterinarian with the Minnesota Board of Animal Health. The virus that was detected, it wasn't a mutated form to cattle. It was the same virus that's been detected in wild birds. The same virus resulting in the death and mass slaughter of more than 246 million poultry worldwide from 2005 to 2020, and outbreaks resurging since then. The H5N1, that's the one that's kind of been, causing us all the trouble these past years. Now, in Texas, Kansas, and New Mexico, officials say the bird flu was found in older cows, and that symptoms include decreased lactation and low appetite. But Cornell says the experts are working to confirm if the virus caused their illnesses. This comes a week after goats on a western Minnesota farm were diagnosed following an outbreak among poultry on the farm. At this point, there's really low concern from a consumer perspective. Farmers are required to only allow milk from healthy animals to enter the food supply. Those from sick ones are destroyed. Pasteurization of the milk you get in the store and commercial milk is extremely effective at inactivating viruses. Still, she says Minnesota farmers should take some basic biosecurity precautions. When adding animals to your herd, making sure to, quarantine them for 21 to 31 days before introducing them to the other animals, just to make sure they don't get sick. In late 2020,
What are the humans?
were reported in bears in Alaska, Nebraska, and Montana. And then this past December, it was also found in a polar bear. And that was the first time an Arctic animal died from the virus.
Y'all hear that BS? Let me go back real quick.
Get sick.
What are the humans?
In late 2020,
What are the humans?
were reported in bears in Alaska, Nebraska, and Montana. And then this past December, it was also found in a polar bear. And that was the first time an Arctic animal died from the virus.
Alright, so they had me going with the avian bird flu, thinking something was really going on, until they said that the polar bear had it. A polar bear in the Arctic. Alright, so before they said that the polar bear and that bears in America also had the avian bird flu, they said goats had it, they said dairy cows had it, as well as the chickens. Okay, it's jumping to all these different animals. So, you mean to tell me they just had a random thought, let's go to the Arctic and test the polar bear for bird flu? Out of all the things that you could test the bear for, you decide to test it for bird flu, and you find out that it actually had the avian bird flu? Yeah, they lost me with that one. So you mean, it is like the pandemic in 2020. Whatever reason, people was dying on a death certificate that's put in the COV. If you had a heart attack, it was a COV. If you got in a car accident, it was the COV. If you died from AIDS, it was the COV. That looked like the same thing here. Just every animal they test, all of a sudden, everything got the avian bird flu now. Well, how about, since you're testing everything, go test the ducks, see if they got the bird flu. Matter of fact, test the fishes. We just watched the video. They talking about they don't know why the fish is dying. Well, maybe them dummies should have thought to test it for the bird flu. Since they tested everything else, goats, cows, donkeys, bears, polar bears, test the fishes. But this is to cause fear, and also, Esau to push his sorceries. But let's get a couple precepts real quick, because what's going on here is no different again than what happened in ancient Egypt. So we're gonna get um, Exodus 12 and 12. For I will pass through the land of Egypt this night, and will smite all the firstborn in the land of Egypt, both man and beast, and all the gods of Egypt I will execute judgment, for I am the Lord. So yeah, this is going into the Passover. The Lord smote the firstborn of man and beast in the land of Egypt. In other words, killed them. Now, the Lord had been killing the Egyptians and been killing the animals before the Passover. When you read in between the lines, you know, the plagues of Egypt was taking them out and it was tearing them up. But we wanted to just show that this was what the plagues were sent to do, to smite man and beast in the land of Egypt. All 10 plagues, you know, were sent to do that. But we know what? That we in modern day Egypt again, under Esau, Edom, the so-called white man. So what? The Lord is going to smite man and beast again. Just like these animals getting tore up, people getting tore up here in America. You know, judgment going out daily, all throughout the night. So this is Job 3:19. Egypt shall be a desolation, and Edom shall be a desolate wilderness. Why is it talking about Egypt, then go straight to Edom? Because it's talking about the same thing. Egypt, meaning spiritual Egypt, would be the place, but Edom would be the people. To be a desolation for the violence against the children of Judah, because they have shed innocent blood in their land. So yeah, and that's what the Lord is doing here in spiritual Egypt, America, cutting off man and beast. That's why the fish is dying. That's why every animal in existence got the bird flu now. And like I say, maybe the fishes got the bird flu too. But when we come to Ezekiel 25 and 13, therefore thus says the Lord Yahweh, I will also stretch out my hand upon Edom, and will cut off man and beast from it, and I will make it desolate from Teman, and day of the Dan shall fall by the sword. So yeah, the Lord is stretching his hand upon man and beast. That's why people dying in freak accidents, natural causes. They dropping from heart failure, from the hokey pokey, you know, getting mauled to death by wild animals, spirits created for vengeance, as well as the animals, because they killing the animals, you know, who got this bird flu. Now, whether Esau is making these numbers up, or if Esau is giving these animals the avian bird flu through his sorceries, the end result is that the animals are being cut off. Because again, the Lord said he will cut off man and beast, you know, from Edom. So that's exactly what's going on. Now, again, rather it's the Lord sending evil angels to put these animals to death, or if Esau Edom, you know, is killing the animals through his sorceries, what's the end result? The animals, the livestock, the fishes are dying, leading to what? A famine. The storehouse is going empty. And then even beyond that, when the storehouses go empty, you're not going to be able to be in the woods, you know, killing deer, killing squirrels. Esau trying to kill everything. Next, they're going to say that the squirrels got the bird flu. So you're not going to even be able to eat a squirrel, which we shouldn't be eating them anyway. But, and what's the point of a famine? And no wild animals to hunt for survival, to force you to get in the MOTB, which is the mark of the beast. And that's what? The RFID microchip and the Neuralink brain chip. So yeah, pestilence. The fish is obviously sick from something. Now all the livestock, the land animals, they all got the bird flu now. Hey, and this stuff is going to infect the people, which is already cases of people with the avian flu, people with tuberculosis, Alaskan pox, the bubonic plague, all kinds of stuff. All right, so again, I think Esau is going to take advantage of this outbreak of the fishes dying and the wild land animals dying, so he can what? He can stand on his sorceries. Because what? The store's gonna go empty. Esau gonna say it ain't no meat. But he's gonna push what? He's gonna push his lab grown meat, lab grown chicken, lab grown beef, lab grown eggs, lab grown milk. Check out this real quick.
The new lab-grown chicken that was just approved for sale in the U.S. could be headed to your dinner plate. Devin Dwyer has the details. Good morning, Devin.
Hey, good morning, George. Americans ate 75 billion pounds of red meat and chicken last year. But what if some of that meat was not raised on farms, but instead of high-tech facilities? Scientists say that could be good for the environment and your health, and soon it could be on menus and store shelves. This morning, the USDA has approved cell-cultivated meat to be sold to the public for the first time.
So that's where it all starts, just a few cells.
2 cultivated meat producers now getting the green light.
That's what your meat will be grown in.
Commercially selling their chicken, not raised on a farm, but in a facility. The meat is grown using real animal cells and large bioreactors fed with nutrients. I recently got a tour of California-based Upside Foods, the nation's first and largest cultivated meat producer.
You're making chicken in there.
Yeah, so if you look at this is approximately a 200 plus liter tank. And we take cells from a chicken or an egg. It takes 2 weeks to grow the equivalent of one chicken, 1,000 chickens, or 100,000 chickens.
So you're saying in this factory you can make more meat faster and cleaner than an average farmer?
Well, ultimately, yes.
The company says cell-cultivated meat could help feed the world's booming population using a fraction of the land and water of animal farming and help reduce greenhouse gas emissions. Many experts say more study is needed. I got to try this cell-cultivated chicken at the facility in California, guys. I got to say the texture was a little bit different, but it did taste like chicken. The company says they hope to get...
So, yeah, I think that's what Esau is trying to do. He's trying to, if the Lord is not sending evil angels to kill off the animals, I think Esau's doing it to push his lab-grown meat, in which we're going to get this. And what's so special about the lab-grown meat? Well, you got to understand, Esau can cut and splice DNA, and he can put the genetic information of different viruses, the genetic information of certain medications into the meat. Now, check out this lesson that I did some time ago. Check this out.
We don't know what we're eating. Is that the bottom line, Tom?
No, we don't. In fact, right now, we've confirmed this mRNA stuff is in the food supply. We know that Merck has a product called Sequebity. They've been injecting mRNA into pigs since 2018. We know that they can actually make what's called transmissible mRNA. And what that means is that they can put this stuff in an animal so that it transmits to whoever is ingesting whatever it is that they're ingesting, and they become... So they could engineer this into plants, into animals, into various things. And if we don't get this closure, if we don't, pass some informed consent laws, what's going to happen is for all you guys that stood strong and said no to these mRNA, well, you're going to get them anyways, right through your food.
Yeah, so those of us who resist. So that's the point where I think Esau is taking advantage of all these animals dying, rather it be natural causes or by his pollution or his sorceries. He sees it as an opportunity to bring these lab-grown meats, in which these meats got the mRNA from the hokey pokey engineered into it, and they call it transmissible mRNA. That if you eat something, that mRNA in the thing that you ate can be transmitted into your system. Now we're gonna jump up a little bit in this video. Check this out. Video. Listen closely.
Why is Bill Gates buying up all of the farmland? Yeah, that's because control the food. Not only control the food, it's deeper. These ninjas, white ninjas, have come up with a technology that is, I think they call it RNA resistant crop. Not GMO no more. GMO, it don't grow again. You feel me? You grow one time, it decimates the soil, it's dead. GMO is cancer for soil. Mm-hmm. This RNA resistant crop, you are able to engineer the seed to search and destroy a certain type of genetic composition. They can make a seed that will target black people. So when you ingest the fruit and vegetable, it automatically goes to attack on your immune system. Damn. Imagine putting the AIDS virus in your food. Mm-hmm. The reason Bill Gates is buying up all the farmland, allegedly, is so that he can grow all this RNA-resistant foods. So now your fruits and vegetables become the thing that's killing you. Yes. Damn.
Bill Gates has purchased over 200,000 acres of land because they are now mixing these poisonous materials from these needles in with food to make an edible injection. I really don't like the fact that...
And that's the point. Whether it's the crops, Bill Gates buying up all the farmland, putting the mRNA spike protein into the crops, or they kill off all the animals and they give you lab-grown meat that got the mRNA spike proteins engineered into the meat. But we're going to get this in Isaiah 47:12. Stand now with thine enchantments in the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so be thou shalt be able to profit. If so, be thou mayest prevail. So the Lord, son of Esau, continue using your enchantments and your sorceries. Let's see if that help you. Since that's what you've done since you first came into power. And the sorceries and the enchantments, that would be these mRNA medications. The poisons that he put into the food, into the water, into the air. Even Christianity. That's an enchantment. Those blankets with smallpox and yellow fever and all that stuff on it. That's more sorceries. But it's not going to profit Esau, because when you read up, it says, therefore shall evil come upon thee. Thou shalt not know from whence it riseth, and mischief shall fall upon thee. Thou shalt not be able to put it off, and desolation shall come upon thee suddenly, which thou shalt not know. Lining up with the judgment of Edom. And that's why when we read Hebrews 13:14, for we have no continuous city, but we seek one to come. Yeah, we don't desire to continue our lives here in America. Why would we? We would be eating lab-grown meats with mRNA spike proteins engineered into the meat. We would be eating GMO fruits and vegetables with the mRNA spike proteins engineered into the meat. We would be eating no real food. There would be no wildlife, no animals. The earth would be a desolate wilderness. To continue to live here is death. Yeah, we all die, but we talking about death of the human race. Death of every species of people, plants, and animals here under Esau, Edom. We got to get from underneath these devils. So yeah, we don't desire to continue our lives here under Esau. We look for a better life to come, and that's the kingdom. And that's why when we hit Ezekiel 35:14, thus says the Lord Yahweh, when the whole earth rejoiceth, I will make thee desolate. So yeah, the whole earth is going to rejoice when Esau, Edom is made desolate. Not to mention, you will only continue life here under Esau with these brain chips and the RFID microchip. They can control how you spend your money. Automatic deductions, freeze your account, this social credit system, tracking you everywhere you go, reading your thoughts, eventually programming your thoughts. There's no way that anybody in their right mind will want to continue living here. Because again, to live here is death, extinction. So yeah, this is the lesson. Pestilence, famine, and sorceries. Lord, and it was edifying. Till next time, Shalom.